What's up, everybody? This is Brian J's Nerd Talk, and this is my review so far of Season 3, Part 1 of The Witcher. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. It was okay. There were certain scenes that they adapted from the book in Time of Contempt that were pretty good. Spoilers, of course. This is spoilers review. At the conclave, at the dance, the ball with Geralt and Yennefer, a lot of that was changed, but there were some things they adapted from the book faithfully, like the scene between Geralt and Vegaport, with them having their conversation, talking about how they're both orphans and they don't really have struggles with their identity and stuff like that. Episode 3 adapted the moments where Ciri frees this monster that was in a cage. And the guy has a monster in a cage. He's saying it's a basilisk, but it's not. And so Ciri ends up freeing the basilisk. It gets free, and she has to kill it. And she gives credit to the knight, who was like scared shitless. So that was a faithful part of the book, and other things like that. There was also some scenes they got from the book, like Yennefer writing letters to Geralt, which says, my dear friend, the dear friend letters, that came from Blood of Elves. That was not in the Time of Contempt, but that was okay. And also the scene in episode 3 where Yennefer is being motherly and protective of Ciri by giving her a coat, giving her a pendant where she could locate her location and stuff like that. That was all pretty good. But those moments were like few and far between. A lot of other stuff just wasn't faithful at all, like them talking about this monolith and the book to this monolith and stuff, which was kind of ridiculous. They changed things about Dijkstra, who's into BDSM and is getting whipped by Philippa. That was all terrible and unnecessary. There was other changes too that didn't really work. And also Ciri being chased by a monster because Rhys, who's a fire mage, gives the monster her scent, and the monster's looking for her. There's a really great fight scenes that really that happened in the first episode, but it's just ridiculous where Geralt breaks Rhys's hands and he doesn't kill him. He could have killed him and then just leave, or Yennefer and Ciri could have gone with him to the portal, then killed the guy and then teleport back. But the writing is just so sloppy and all over the place. And the show is not really faithful to the Time of Contempt. They make a lot of changes that don't really fit with the book at all. The show isn't really told from Geralt's perspective. There's also this moment at the end of episode 3 where Yennefer and Ciri get into an argument, and Ciri runs away from her, and Yennefer lets her run away, which is just really ridiculous, because Yennefer in the book, when Ciri runs away, because Ciri doesn't want to go to Aretuza, she runs away from Yennefer. Yennefer goes and chases her down on the horse and saves her from the wild hunt, and then brings her to Geralt, who is like in town or whatever, around the area of Aretuza, or where Thined and that whole area. And then they go to Aretuza. After Yennefer and Geralt get into some type of argument, and in the book, Jaskier is like making fun of them, and he's like putting words in their mouth, and Ciri thinks is like really is like yelling at him, saying that you're just making stuff up. None of this is true. They put that scene in the show in episode 4, which I thought was pretty cool, but I just didn't like that Yennefer and Ciri got into an argument and Yennefer just lets Ciri run away and she doesn't chase after her. That was really stupid. A lot of this, some of the relationship dynamics between them are faithful to the books, and then they change things to where, for a fact it would never happen in the books or in the video games. But that's the problem with the show. It's written by people who are not even fans of the game or the book or the books at all. So far, I would give Season 3 a 6 out of 10. I think it's probably worse than Season 2. And Season 2, because Season 2, even though Season 2 is mostly fan fiction and wasn't a faithful adaptation of Blood of Elves, The Time of Contempt, I think, is probably a little bit worse, because they keep saying it's a one-to-one adaptation. And there are some scenes where it's like that, but it's mostly very different. And the character dynamics are just all wrong. So far, I give Season 3 a 6 out of 10. The best episodes were episodes 4 and 5. Episode 1 had some good moments. I think the worst episodes are episodes 2 and 3, even though they had moments that came from the book as well. But yeah, I see why Henry Cavill is leaving, because these writers are just not going to be faithful to the books. They're not going to honor the writer, Andrzej Sapkowski, or stay true to give the fans what they really want. So Henry Cavill had to leave, and I see why. So these are my thoughts on The Witcher Season 3 so far. And this is Brian J's Nerd Talk. I'll talk to y'all later.